Okay, as promised by my Johnston Sketchbook Facebook manager, I'm going to answer some questions that I've been getting asked a lot on the Facebook page. The first one, are there any plans to reissue the sketchbook? This is from Jason Eaton. Not that I know of. Ballantine released the original sketchbooks back in 77, 79, and 82, I think it was. And as far as I know, there are no plans to reissue the sketchbook. When we did the work that was in the sketchbook, we had no idea. Well, we did on the second and third, of course, but on the first one, I had no idea that it was ever going to be published. Had I known, I would have taken a lot more care in the drawings, and I would have made them much more publishable. A lot of them were done basically for the crew, just so we could sort of, for scale and see what we were building and drawing. And I knew that Ralph's work was going to be published, but I had no idea that mine would ever be published. So anyway, not a big deal. The second question here, are you really Joe Johnston? This is from Dunce Art Paul Gaviglio, Gaviglio. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, Paul. No, I'm not really Joe Johnston. And I don't know anybody who is. The third question is, how do you get past the creative block when designing, especially on a big commercial job? Which I haven't done in probably 30 years, unless you're talking about a film. Do you panic, or does it come to you eventually? Asked by several, but one in particular was Alex Turpin. I don't panic, for one thing. That doesn't do any good. But no artist or any kind of creative person can just be expected to be creative all the time. Sometimes it's not in the cards, and you just sit there and don't know what to do. The thing that I have found helps me a lot is to start to draw stuff. Just burn through a ream of paper, just drawing stuff, and depending on what it is you're trying to come up with, ideas will come to you. They always do. It's just like you have to prime the pump, sort of. The other thing you can do, which I've found very helpful, is just to walk away from it for as long as you can afford to walk away from it, to be away from it. And that usually, if the attempt to come up with the design is in your head, that will keep working when you're off doing something else. And you will find it much easier to start being creative when you come back to it. At least that's what I found. The other thing that I sometimes do is I find stuff in nature. This is the breastbone of a pelagic cormorant that I found down at my local beach here, and I just marvel at the perfection of what nature can do, and how this particular thing, talk about design, not intelligent design, evolutionary design. It does a specific thing, and it does it really perfectly. And there's a lot of stuff like that. This is a part of a bird skeleton. I don't even know what it is, but there's so many designs in this thing. If you wanted to go in and find them, there's a helmet or a head or a vehicle or a spaceship or something. I mean, there's all kinds of things in here that it's just, I just marvel every time I look at something like this. But there's a lot of that kind of that inspiration to be found in nature. I mean, you can really see where H.R. Geiger got a lot of his ideas for stuff like that. But that is, those are 3 questions. I said I would answer 3 questions, and I will answer 3 questions every time I do this. So, I mean, if I can find 3 interesting questions, so keep the interesting questions coming, and we'll do this again in a week or so. Okay, thanks.